You know, things change in gaming all the time. Microsoft and Sony are obviously competing for our money, and I think things come to like an all-time high when it comes to the amount of content needed because as I've been saying for years now, console wars are kind of over. And I make the joke about that on my channel all the time with my titles and thumbnails and stuff like that. I get it. I hear you guys. But I have fun with that stuff, right? Like, as you can tell, talking about video games is fun. I love video games. But at the same time, I feel like, we're still seeing some interesting sort of scenarios where Sony is still surprising gamers with some of their big announcements. And that's not to say Microsoft isn't doing surprises of their own or great things of their own, because they are. But what I love seeing so much from Sony is it seems like they have a lot more of the surprise factor going for them, whether they're buying a studio, which, obviously they're going to continue to buy studios. Who could have foreseen them buying Bungie, right? Like, that's crazy to me. I remember when I saw that, I was like, wow, that really kind of screws up Microsoft. It screws over Microsoft. And then you find out that, all their games and future games will be multi-plat anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Now, what does matter is that Sony is getting their studios up and running and working on all these different things, whether it's moving into a new building that's unprecedented or whether it's, Naughty Dog working on multiple projects. Now, Naughty Dog is one of the top developers in the world, if not the number one developer. And I think you can't say enough good things about that company. They just do stellar work. Now, listen, what do I think about The Last of Us remake? I think personally, like I like to talk. This is how my new philosophy goes, right? If something's negative, I'll talk about it for a day and then I move on, right? There's no reason to just continuously evolve in the negativity around gaming because there's enough negativity in the world. We don't need to see negativity all the time. I feel like that's horrible. That's made people so cynical and so upset and pissed off. And it's happened to me quite a bit too. So I just kind of want to be, kind of fair and upfront about that. So personally, if you ask me how I feel about it, I feel like it's a cash grab. Releasing the same game 3 times in a 9-year period seems like a lot of the same game. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's not like it was made in the PS1 or PS2 era where everything's all blocky. But the good news is Naughty Dog is working on more than just that particular game, which I think is really good. Not only are they working on a multiplayer game that looks like it's going to be huge, and it could be huge for Sony. It's no longer just called Factions, but they're also working on a brand new project that they've been working on for multiple years already, and unless it leaks out, apparently they aren't going to talk about it, which I guess is probably a good thing. So we all wonder what this new project is. Is it The Last of Us Part 3? Is it a brand new IP? I think of a lot of us kind of wonder about that. I personally hope that it's a new IP, a single player IP. Not that I don't love The Last of Us. I think The Last of Us Part 1 is okay. I think The Last of Us Part 2 is a 10 out of 10. Team Abby, by the way. And I think that it's a great game, but I just think that they've kind of gone all that they can go with that game, right? Like, they kind of went as far as they could with it. I don't really see where else they could go with another game in that series, so hopefully we get something new from them. But it does look like that's going to happen, and listen, that's where things matter the most. Getting that content out, getting content shown, and getting that hype factor up. Sony does that amazingly well. So hopefully we continue to see that from them, and hopefully we continue to see, just in general, Sony do these amazing things, like these kind of announcements and stuff like this. Again, I do miss when these announcements were, made on a big stage and things like that, but still, knowing that Naughty Dog is very busy, they got other studios moving into even bigger place. We're going to be getting all this content. Like, that's amazing to me. So that is a very exciting prospect. While we all know that PlayStation doesn't have the type of money that Microsoft has, they aren't going to sit back and just allow things to sort of happen to them. They're going out there, they're making moves, they're doing things with buying studios and things like that. One of the studios that they bought, Firesprite, is actually moving into a huge office, 20 times larger than its current one. And the 10-year lease is the largest in Liverpool in 3 years. So think about that for a second. Everything's kind of coming together well for Sony. They obviously have a ton of content in production, and they're going to need that. They're going to need that type of production. They're going to need this type of, movement. They're going to need, this space to create games and things like that. The studio is currently based at Liverpool Vanilla's factory, a building which contains a number of units converted into office, retail, and leisure spaces. Firesprite office unit at a Vanilla factory covers 2,295 square feet, according to the building's floor plan. However, the company has now leased a 4-building cluster in Duke Street, which will give it 50,000 square feet of space. The new letting, which is only a 3-minute walk from the current Firesprite office, consists of 4 buildings, including a Grade 2 building that used to be Liverpool's public library. Invest Liverpool says the lease, which lasts until 2023, is the largest letting in Liverpool in 3 years. The largest before that was made in 2018 by Firesprite's parent company Sony, which leased a 65,000 square foot Liverpool Echo newspaper former building. The move was significantly larger. A combination will help Firesprite handle numerous projects it is currently working on. The studio is working alongside Guerrilla Games on PlayStation VR 2 title Horizon Call of the Mountain, and as they understand it, it has also taken over development on an as yet unannounced Twisted Metal reboot. So recent job listing on the studio's website show that it's working on a AAA narrative-driven horror adventure game in Unreal Engine 5 as well. Firesprite was established in 2012 by former members of Sony Interactive Entertainment Studio Liverpool after it was closed down by Sony. Sony then acquired Firesprite back in 2021, making it an official part of the PlayStation Studios family. So what happened was, it was PlayStation Liverpool, then Sony closed it down. Then they're like, hey, let's just make our own studio, which they did. And then Sony bought them too. So it's kind of funny in that aspect. Making the announcement, PlayStation Studios head Herman Hall stated, after a number of years closely collaborating on several games together, including Playroom for the PlayStation VR, I couldn't be more delighted to welcome Firesprite to the PlayStation Studio family as our 14th studio. Quite a few members of Firesprite came from Sony Interactive Entertainment's Liverpool studio, and we're thrilled to welcome them back. Now, Firesprite is a creative, ambitious studio that is exceptional at building incredible experiences and truly showcase the potential of their hardware. The team's technical and creative capabilities will now be paramount to growing their catalog of exclusive games, and I think you'll be excited about what's to come. So, yeah, that's pretty cool news. I think that moving into a nice, kind of robust place to, enjoy gaming and be able to kind of enjoy and put their games out and things like that. I think that is going to be a very smart move for Sony. Listen, they don't have, let's just be honest, they don't have Microsoft money, but they still have pretty good money, right? Like, I mean, it's not like they're hard up or anything like that. I feel like people kind of mistake that a little bit. Like, when it comes down to what's happening, a lot of people kind of look at what's going on with them, and they go, "Oh, well, they can't keep up with Microsoft," which is true in that aspect. But also, we can't keep going. Well, they don't have any money. I mean, look, they're still $1 billion company that makes a ton of money and sells a ton of video games. So moves like this, helping people's creativity, is going to be huge going forward. You've got to be able to do that because we are in the content war era of all of this stuff. So with that being said, it's pretty interesting stuff. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you guys do watch the videos, please leave a like on the video. It helps it to be seen, and it helps the channel to grow, and I'm very much appreciated. So thank you guys for rocking out with me. Have a fantastic day. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up, crap gamer out.